Good evening, you're welcome to The Link this week. My name is Malcolm Sime, sitting in for Sam, and this evening our guest is Lawrence Iguru from the Ministry of Labour, and we're going to discuss labour externalisation and the issues to do with employment. He's a commissioner employment in the department.
Yes.
All right. So first things first, Lawrence, you're very welcome. But let's talk about the state of employment and unemployment in the country, and then we can go into the discussion.
Thank you very much for this opportunity and to be able to share our views as a Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development with the country. Unemployment problem in Uganda, 9.1%. That's what the figures say. But of course it masks a lot of deficiencies, a lot of deficits in terms of what's called a decent work deficits. So in terms of wages, hours of work, in terms of productivity, those are the issues that we need to tackle. But in terms of numbers, we have a lot of underemployment. So I could be working, but I'm putting in 2 hours instead of the usual 8 hours, and I call that work. Or I'm engaged in agriculture, I'm engaged in the informal economy, and yet I could actually be earning more and my productivity would be higher if I had the right equipment, if I had the right salary, wages, if I had the right occupational health and safety equipment around me. Exactly, the list is very endless.
So the level of productivity is really of productivity are very low. If you look
very low in terms of, if you do comparisons even across East Africa, and in Africa definitely we are pretty much below the normal standard.
And that affects a
lot because it's productivity, wage increase, it's activity that affects the level of the GDP, the wages itself.
Okay, so Lawrence, you sit in the employment department at the Ministry, and you obviously really you meet some of the things that you really encounter, the issues you encounter on a daily basis. Employment in the country, who is doing what, where, for instance, the externalisation of labour from the business of exporting workers to different countries, and that's been a very big issue in that space. But we are talking business, and on the link is the people who would want to join that space. The regulations always fail them. Probably maybe they're not informed, they don't know what the regulations are, and so they just go in heading. They have capital, they start picking a person here and there. They have letters, recommendations from different agencies abroad or even in the Middle East, where majority of our workers go. So they start doing business, ignoring I think the most stringent parts of the law. First, tell us, if I want to play in that space, what do I need first?
Very good question. Thank you very much. My Minister Mkwaya usually says, we are not in the business of selling charcoal here. These are human beings, and the International Labour Organization puts it very well. Labour is not a commodity. So we are dealing in human beings, and human beings have feelings, they have skills, they have aspirations. So if you are going to look into the market where you're saying, labour externalisation, then there are a number of aspects that you must look at. One, there's the law, 2005 statutory instrument, which streamlined labour externalisation. Before that, everybody knows what CHEO is. You have a colleague or a friend in Boston.
What are the key requirements?
So key requirements, one, you must be a Ugandan of good standing. So it means you'll be vetted by the security authorities in terms of your criminal records. So you must not have been a criminal, you must not be a convict. You must be able to put in 50 million in terms of bank guarantee. So in the event of any cheating of the client, then we can draw from that 50 million, which is a guarantee in the bank. There must be a minimum balance of at least 10 million shillings in your bank account. You must have audited accounts for you, the person, the directors, as well as the companies. It's quite a very elaborate list, and if you're a foreigner, you must be vetted. You must be provide papers from your own country. So a Kenyan, an Egyptian, a South Korean cannot just walk into Uganda and open a labour externalisation company. So we must have records from their country submitted to us, among other things.
Have you seen ability in terms of, in relation to this business, have people in there consistently, or we see, how is the trend?
Well, when the law was put in place 2005, the statutory instrument, it was supposed to be able to cushion the unemployment problem in the country. But of course, with time, we are now 13 years on in terms of a streamlined legal system of labor externalization, and we are seeing benefits. So $244 million, for instance, in 2016, which came from the Middle East alone from labor externalization. We've seen about 100 million Ugandans having been employed abroad. We've seen investments back home from these remittances that these people have brought in, change of mindset, and so on and so forth. So in terms of the trend, we now have 109 licensed companies that are in this business and spreading all over the Middle East and beyond. So you could say we have become a global competitor, because this was, in the Middle East, for instance, most of the migrant workers are from the greater Asia, the Philippines, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Indonesia, Pakistan, India. But Uganda is now has also joined the fray.
So we are doing so well.
We are moving up, but we're still at not very far in the middle, but we are going up.
It's an area that's opportunities.
It has opportunities, and the good thing is that the quality of workers is definitely being appreciated in terms of the productivity, the time, the seriousness of a Ugandan. In case
I need to access your office, how do I access your office? What is the address?
So Simba Manyo building, which is everybody says between the High Court and the CPS, but we're on George Street. So George Street is one side, and the other side is Lumumba Avenue.
Lawrence Eguru from Labor Ministry is a commissioner in the Employment Department, and in case you need to do that business, well, we'll link you to him. We'll link you to that particular business, and that's the link.